presentation about startups and how to create your own business, and the example of our own startup, hoping that you might get some ideas and motivation to start your own businesses. And also, I'm here because I want to hear your opinion. As a fellow EDRON Knight, I'm really happy that you get to see my project. You're amongst the first who will ever see it. And I think a class like the one you have here, which teaches you so much interesting theory, will help to see something in practice, how it works. So first, a little bit about myself. I grew up in Mexico City, came here to the EDRON, and then I went to study in Wales, where I finished my IB. After Wales, I went to Brown University in the United States, where I studied international relations and Portuguese and Brazilian studies. From there, I moved on to working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs here in Mexico and Chile. I've lived in Rio in Brazil and in Buenos Aires in Argentina. So I've bounced around, and now I'm an entrepreneur. I'm in the startup world, and I'm working at tagRank, which I'll tell you a little bit about further on. First, to begin speaking about startups, we have to think about a timeline like this one. On a timeline of a startup, first you have the idea, that thing that motivates you, that helps you solve a problem that you identify. Once you have this idea to solve a problem, what you need is to bring together a team. And the best teams are those that are diverse, that bring together people with different expertise who can make each very important part of a whole. In my team we have Noel, who's in the back filming right now, and Noel is an engineer. We also have Nelly, who couldn't join us today, who is a designer. But Noel and Nelly dedicate their time to coding, to making our site, while I, who studied international relations and literature, dedicate my time to looking for investors and to growing our user base. So you need a diverse team to create a product, and the first thing you create is an MVP, which is a minimum viable product. It's a very basic way to demonstrate that you can solve the problem, that your idea works, okay? So before you have your app, before you have your big entrepreneurship, please come in, go ahead. Before you have your big entrepreneurship company, or your business, you need a minimum viable product, which you'll take to investors, and you'll need some capital to grow. So, for example, here, if you wanted to start selling, chocolate chip cookies and competing against the kiosco, at first you would need money to make those cookies and to get users and your branding, and maybe you are not able to pay that for yourselves, and you ask your parents or you ask another investor. Seed capital is capital that is given by investors, individuals with money who wish to have a return on what they invest on. Normally they give about $50,000 to $100,000. Sounds like a lot of money, but it is money you use to grow in many aspects of your project. You can also get this money through accelerators, which I'll talk about later. Then you have more money, because once you've grown, you can't really stop. You want to have a big company, and this money, Series A, $500K, $500,000 to $2 million, you get it from venture capitalists. No? Accelerators are like management schools in Mexico for startups. So they gather together the brightest minds in marketing, taxes, legal issues. They help you grow users and make your product better, giving you counsel. No? But in exchange, some of them take part of your company. Let's look at these three, the main Mexican ones. Mass Challenge gives you zero capital. They don't give a penny, but they also don't take part of your company, nothing, 0% equity. They give you only the capital, the ideas, the mentorship. 500 in its turn gives you 50,000 US dollars in exchange for 10% of your company. So you're no longer the sole owner or the sole, and if you're in a partnership, you get to give 10% to the accelerator. No? Noma gives you no money and takes away 5%. We're actually right now in a process of applying for these programs. We already applied to Numa and figured out that wasn't good for us because we got in, but they give zero money and they take away part of your company. You know? So it really depends what the company is looking for. Now let me tell you more about my startup and the problem we identified, how it started. So a good way to tell you about it is this example. Imagine that on one corner you have the Lanesborough, which is the fanciest hotel in London, in Hyde Park, where usually you will find Rolls Royce outside by the door, and you'll find a Bugatti, you know, like every day, just parked there. On the other side you have the Marriott, which you might be familiar with. It's here in Reforma. Maybe it sees a Rolls Royce once a month, but you'll never see a Bugatti, and it's a whole different category of hotel. Now, both of these have 4.6 stars in reviews. 4.6, a number you'll see when you ask for Ubers. There are 4.6 drivers all the time. Airbnbs, 4.6 Airbnbs. Restaurants, 4.6 restaurants. It's everywhere in the internet. And it doesn't mean anything, especially when you're looking at two completely different hotels. One whose customers go to the best hotels in Abu Dhabi and Bali. The other whose customers go to the Hyatt and the Intercontinental. They are both ranked in the same level. Now, let's think of a solution, no? So I think the solution is bam, 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 bam! Killing the stars. But killing the stars is not quite the solution. The solution is tagRank. tagRank is a whole new way to qualify things. You get rid of the stars and you can rank anything with a hashtag. Now, how does this really work? Like, what does it mean ranking with a hashtag? Let's give you an example. Let's say we wanted to rank, you can't really see, but it says Stranger Things here. Stranger Things is a series that most of us would consider a really good one, 5-star series, you know. But in different categories, in different hashtags, it ranks differently. So in hashtag TV series, where you are comparing Stranger Things to all the TV series out there, you know, Sky, ECTV, Hulu, Amazon, whatever, Stranger Things beats 82% of all series. In the hashtag best horror series, Stranger Things beats horror series, the best horror series, for 53% of the best horror series. Why? Because although Stranger Things is a horror series, maybe it's more of a sci-fi series, you know? And the best Netflix series, which is only the series you can find on Netflix, you would find Stranger Things ranks beating 67% of all other Netflix series. Now, you can rank much more than series, you know, and hotels. Let's think, for example, of Cristiano Ronaldo, who might be a 5-star football player, you know, but in the hashtag best tempered footballer, he beats only 15% of the best tempered footballers. Why? Because he throws a tantrum and we know he doesn't behave at his best in the field, you know. In the hashtag sore loser, which is a hashtag that includes personalities like López Obrador, who after losing an election started the march in Reforma. It doesn't only include football players. Cristiano Ronaldo beats 59% of sore losers. You know, he's not the worst, but in Portuguese players, he beats most of them. He beats 96%. Portugal is a small country, and who plays as well, if not better, than Cristiano Ronaldo in that country? So, not only can you rank different things, anything you can think of, you can see lists like this one of the general ranking. So you have a best Pixar movie, and first you have Monsters Inc., Coco, and then Up. Up is beating most Pixar movies by 85. Like Up is beating 85% of Pixar movies, you know. But the curious thing about this is that you can actually look for, let's see if this animation plays, look for particular items. It's a little bit far from you, but here you're looking for Toy Story. And you find out Toy Story 1 beats 64% of all other films in the Pixar list, you know? And Finding Nemo beats 74% of all other Pixar movies. So hashtag allows you to access information in a much clear, objective, and relative way. So that's hashtag. You can rank anything with hashtags. We kill the stars. And now I would like to give you the opportunity of completing a challenge where you get to interact with the site, find out how it really works. But before we do that, I would like to open for questions and see if there's anything you'd like to know about ourselves, the team, the startup, anything really.